Hi, Sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Sim. Hope you are great. Seeing a video of why women asking, why is it that everybody is quiet? Why are people not saying anything over you all remember that I brought a video about the degrees that are no longer professional. She's asking why are people quiet? The truth is that people are not quiet, mind you. And I wanted to know that this particular woman voted for this administration. And she is asking, why are you people quiet? And who is quiet? So what does she want people that look like me to do? To probably step out to march? She's asking, why are you so much interested in the Epstein file? That Epstein file is very vital. And also the degree that are no longer professional are also very vital. Now, let me tell you something. You can't eat your cake and have it. You voted for this administration, and now you are asking why are people not saying anything? And at the same time, asking why are people more interested in the Epstein's file? You already be talking nonsense. Because last I checked, you are in your house on the couch with maybe your mother or whoever you are with, right? Telling people, what are you people doing? Why are you in your house making the video? You should have been at the Oval Office doing the right thing, protesting. But you have the guts to come here to say, don't let people whoop your ass because my people are so good at whooping people's ass. Don't let it happen because you won't like it. Let's get into this video.
Let me be very clear so the white people can hear me. If you sitting here thinking you're going to gaslight me about racism and misogyny, baby, I will be the match to blow this motherfucker up. When they talk about the angry black man, baby, that's Kenny Walden because I'm hot and I'm motherfucking scalding. Baby, it's not my job to educate you, but I will drag you because I don't do well with microaggressions or whataboutisms. I have too much lived experience of being looked over because I didn't have the right color. There have been people who came into my workspace with no resume making more hourly than I do. But because they had the complexion for the protection for the collection, they collected a bigger check. But the reason why you deflect is because you understand the privilege that you possess. Because the uncomfortable truth is you benefit from supremacy and it tickles your fancy. And you would rather black people believe that we're not worthy than look in the mirror and see your mediocrity. And that's all and that's it. Suck my dick.
There is something extremely disturbing about all of the professions that have been stripped from professional degrees according to the new mandates, and nobody is talking about it, and it is extremely interesting that this has happened while we were all distracted by the Epstein files. Let's get into it. So it is Thursday, November 20th. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. And recently, over the last couple of days, we've heard of a number of degrees that are no longer going to be considered professional degrees, so can't get the financial aid through the federal government that they usually did. These things include masters and doctorates in education, CNAs, physician's assistants, nurse practitioners, social workers, counselors, OT, PT, all of these things. Not only are they women-dominated fields, you want to know the other thing they all have in common?
They're all our mandated reporters.
They're all mandated reporters. How interesting that they did this while we were all distracted by the Epstein files. If it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck.
Might as well use it as a cover-up.
And that's something that nobody is talking about right now. Yes, they are all women-dominated fields. Yes, this is another attack on women that's been dressed up as something else. But these are all also mandated reporting careers that protect the children. And it is extremely interesting that this has happened while we were all distracted by the Epstein files.
So apparently the Department of Education decided that nursing, physical therapy, physician assistant, social work, public health, occupational therapy, speak language pathology, and more might not count as professional degrees anymore. Yes, the people who literally keep other humans alive might not be considered professionals on paper anymore. And here's what makes it even more wild. Now, these are fields where women make up the majority, often 70, 80, even 90% of the workforce. So
I'm sure your timeline, like mine, has been filled with a lot of people just like this woman here who are very upset with the acknowledgement of what is about to happen that's going to negatively impact the industry. Most importantly, women. Now, this isn't directed at this content creator because she's not a Trump supporter. But just like in this video, as she is stating, like many others do, when they're talking about the Department of Education, you need to make sure you're placing it exactly where it's supposed to be, which is on Donald Trump. When you're talking about the Department of Education, we're not talking about Linda McMahon. She's nobody. Right now, she's probably sitting in that chair doing that every single day. Just sitting there, you don't even know if she's comatose. She's basically a scarecrow in a field of evil, waiting for the phone ring to tell her exactly what to do. She's nothing more than a bookend, a placeholder for Donald Trump and Project 2025 to do exactly what it promised it was going to do. Donald Trump campaigned on what he was going to do with the Department of Education. We tried to warn everybody what that was going to mean to you. When he was doing away with DEI programs, we tried to educate everyone to understand that the biggest beneficiary of diversity were white women. We tried to explain what this was going to mean to you. Yes, it's a very important and needed industry that is predominantly women. This is what it looks like when they don't value women. But see, while we were upset about them doing away with things like minority scholarships and grants and reallocation of funds to HBCUs, you didn't realize what was coming down the pike for you. But Donald Trump is so good in the sleight of hand to getting people to focus only on the marginalized community that they don't see what's about to happen to them next. It's only a matter of time before his policy eventually was going to end up at your doorstep. But the sad reality is white women voted for this. Yes, you voted for this. More than half of white women voted for Donald Trump in 2024, which means if you have 2 white women in Starbucks, one of them likely is a Trump supporter. So are you really mad at Donald Trump for keeping his promise and Project 2025 doing it exactly like it said it was going to do? Surely you don't think the plan is to show how this policy is going to negatively impact you to motivate the Republicans to have a reversal in their course that they're taking, right? So here you are, stuck out in the rain, complaining, upset, and feeling like your voice is not being heard, even though you're laying out exactly how the things that the government's doing is negatively going to affect you moving forward. Welcome to the Black Experience.
So apparently the Department of Education decided that nursing, physical therapy, physician assistants, social work, public health, occupational therapy, speak language pathology, and more might not count as professional degrees anymore. Yes, the people who literally keep other humans alive might not be considered professionals on paper anymore. And here's what makes it even more wild. Now, these are fields where women make up the majority, often 70, 80, even 90% of the workforce. So if you make these degrees harder to access, more expensive to finance, and easier to strip of loan forgiveness, you're making women pay for it. Now, major organizations are already sounding the alarm, and the American Association of Colleges of Nursing says it could block advanced nursing students from the funding they need. And then the American Nurses Association called it a threat to the entire workforce pipeline, and public health leaders say it leaves them out. The Council on Social Work Education says the definition cuts social work out entirely. So here's what that means. Under the proposed definition, a professional degree now has to be a doctoral level program, around 6 years of post-secondary education, and fit into a narrow set of approved categories. Now, guess what doesn't cleanly fit that definition, you guys? Nursing, physical therapy, physician assistants, social work, public health, occupational therapy, speech therapy. So we're really doing this. We're saying the nurses who keep your mother breathing, the PT who gets you walking after an accident, the PA stabilizing a child in the ER, the social worker preventing someone's crisis is not professional. Now, meanwhile, if you want a law degree, you're safe. If you want an MD, you're safe. But if you want a DNP, a DPT, an MSPH, MSW, or PA degree, the government suddenly goes, that's a cute hobby. Good luck paying for that. Now this could mean lower federal loan limits, fewer programs eligible for loan forgiveness, and higher financial barriers to enter fields we already don't have enough workers in. And hospitals are understaffed. Rural clinics are closing, mental health systems are collapsing, public health departments are begging for more support. And the solution is what? Make it harder for women to enter these fields? Now, please make it make sense, because I'm very confused. Call it what it is. A policy that benefits nobody and hurts everybody.
Extremely disturbing about all of the professions that have been stripped from professional degrees.
You are the government you voted for. Let me say that again. You are the government you voted for. And I want you women, especially you Caucasian women who've overwhelmingly voted for Donald J. Trump twice. You are the reason why your education, your bodily autonomy, your work, your the ability to make money, the price of goods in this country, your child's healthcare, your healthcare is going down because of you. And let me make myself clear, okay? Because you vote against your interests for these horrible people trying to hurt someone else. And now the people that you voted for are hurting you. And I said this before and I'm going to say it to you right now. What happens when all these people that you want to put out of this country are actually gone? What are you going to be left with? Higher unemployment? Maybe going into a second depression? Your children have no education? You got a president that gets $40 billion to bail out another country, but denies his own citizens food? Do you see what you voted for? You have them sending the military on cities to harass minorities in those cities, and you think that's a good thing? I mean, what's going to happen? Your retirement's going to be gone. Your Medicaid's going to be gone. And you all think that this is a good thing. This is what you voted for. And don't act like it's okay. It's not the government. It's not a system. You voted for it. So now that they have made professions like nursing, they made them not professional degrees because these are what women normally are trades that they're in. I want you to know how you destroy the futures of your families, yourselves, and your daughters to be. From your simple votes. Why? Because you allowed the hatred in your heart to win. And what did Trump and his allies and Musk and all these folks do? They allowed that to work. It's magic on you all so that you will vote against your own darn selves. You vote against your children and their future. You did all of this. And you sit back here and say what the government is doing with you voted for this government. We do not have a dictatorship. We do not have a monarchy. Okay? It's not like somebody's born into doing this to us. You all created this madness and you need to take some accountability for it. If you don't have a professional degree in nursing or teaching or any other health or profession, because this federal government hates women and wants to hurt them and slave them, because remember, marriage used to be slavery. So you literally voted yourself into your own oppression. Seriously, you did. You voted for your own darn oppression. And for a lot of you, you all can't really see the foolishness of your vote. Okay? You have people voting for Palestinians who voted for Jill Stein, when Jill Stein supports Israel. She says she's Jewish. Her name is Jill Stein. She supports Israel. Israel's bombing of the Palestinians. Not just Hamas, the Palestinians. You have Palestinian Americans voting a third party for Jill Stein, who said, please look this up, that she's a supporter of Israel. Make that make sense. And as far as the Biden administration, y'all want to hook Harris too? Harris was called the president of the Senate. I know some people need to learn civics. Because if she doesn't have to vote on the bill, she only votes to break up a tie. So if she doesn't have to vote on the bill, she does not have to vote to send weaponry or missiles to any of these areas, any of these countries that are war, including Israel. So basically, you voted for the only person, y'all didn't vote for the only person who didn't do any of the things to harm any other nation. And you still come to her and harass her because you're working for Trump. I am against this mass deportation. Let me say that again. I'm against this mass deportation. But for those who hate black women like myself, I'm glad you've been put out of this country because your hate won't win. You in this country has led to all of this. You voted for all of this. You voted now that so that your college education is no longer a profession of nursing with a professional degree. My daughter's a nurse. My sister's a nurse. My great aunt was a nurse. And this is what all you have done. Does it make me angry? It pisses me off to the highest. Okay? Because you voted for, some of you voted for this man 3 times, women. I haven't heard one of the women in that Epstein's list actually voted for Trump. This says a lot about you women, how y'all destroy each other. How you gonna vote for a man that is being accused of the same crime you accusing Epstein for, who was with him, and you vote for it? You all are the problem. The government is what you created. We don't have a monarchy. We don't have a dictatorship. This is your government. You don't like it? Look at yourself in the mirror. And don't blame Democrats. They have no power here. They have none. The government is controlled by Republicans. It is their actions you hate. The Democrats don't control any of it. Not the House, not the Senate, not the presidency, and we have a conservative court. They control it all. So anything you dislike or you hate here, it's your own fault. I am sick and tired of people doing this to hurt others. Because it just seems like y'all have no concept or think how it's going to hurt you. And for all of those, I even heard one creator, and he was told him about the Labor and Bureau of Statistics where he got all of his facts from, and he called him the N-word. And I want to say to that creator that called this man N-word for telling him the truth that Trump is causing us to lose jobs here in America. He got mad, and that's the only thing he could say. I hope that made you feel good, but calling him the N-word won't change the fact that we don't have jobs. And that's what y'all do not see. You can get rid of all the immigrants, the undocumented immigrants, out of this country. And what will you have left? Higher unemployment, higher inflation, job loss, unable to buy a house, especially you 20-somethings who voted for this madness. You ain't gonna never have a house like mine. Because Jeff Bezos finna buy them all up. You gonna be paying for it for him forever. So you tell me, a 50-year mortgage? They can give $40 billion to Argentina to bail them out, but can't give you food stamps? I seriously do not understand how you see this. You talk about the LGBTQ, you voted against them. Only 1% of the we have trans in this country is only about 1%. But yet and still, you vote for a predator that was with Epstein and had 3 14-years accused him of assault. But you say you against the act. Y'all protecting the children. This is your fault, Marcus. You created the government you hate. You created a government that's about to destroy you and drive us into economic depression. You created this government, not the Democrats. You got a president, y'all talk about political violence against Charlie Kirk, but here you got today a president talking about what he want to do to the Democrats. Hate won't win. And I know I got a big old bump in my face. Hate won't win. Remember that. You voted for.
All I got from this video. And who is she talking to? Who is she talking to that you are more concerned about the Epstein's file? So you're trying to tell us that the Epstein file is also not important? Or I understand what happened when it comes to excuse me, when it comes to the degrees that are no longer professional. So what should we do? Black people should hit the streets to protest, while you that is looking at me that made that video actually voted for this administration. So shut the hell up, because everything that is going on today is what you voted for. Nobody voted for this. Black people did not vote for it, right? So you are telling, how are people not saying anything? Who told you people are not saying anything? Okay, yeah, you mean saying something that they are supposed to go to the street and march the Oval Office and, like, bring the president out and give him some lash, right? You can actually do that on our behalf. Yeah. Is it too much to ask for? It's not. She is making that video in her own room with probably her mother or whoever she's making that video with, right? But she wants you to leave your house, leave your children, leave your job too. The one that is no longer professional, that you are still looking for a way to make a living out of, right? She wants you to leave all that and march to the over while she is in the house with her phone, creating content and having 6,000 comments and over how many million views. You already better be serious on this app. You all better be serious. So now, see, there are ways to, I don't know, but let me say this. Some people sometimes are really very silly and foolish. Sorry, I'm using this kind of word, but at the same time, I'm not sorry, because somebody must hear this. Let me tell us this, right? The fact that what happened, especially some curses or some degrees no longer being professional, is important to talk about it. It is also very important to talk about the Epstein's file, because children are involved. And if you do not talk about all this, in the end, you will see that you all are making so much mistakes. So you can talk about the degree that is being taken away, and also Epstein's file, which we need to know the people that violated, people that were not old enough. I might be stupid, but I am not this stupid. Balance. It's okay. Now majority of the things that see, some people think they can wake up and sit in their couch, sit on their couch and talk nonsense. Let my people, I don't know, because from the tone of what she said, it means you can hit the streets. Why I stay back home? Why are you people not talking? Why are you people not doing something? Why are you in your house? Why are you not doing something? Why are you not marching? You think my people are stupid? No. You see, the truth is that you can actually eat your cake and have it. You cannot vote for bad government. You voted for bad government, and the government is giving you what you voted for, and you are screaming, you are shouting. How is that my problem? Did I do anything? Is it not what you voted for that you are getting? See, you cannot work at Walmart, right? And go to Target to get salary and collect your salary from there. No. You eat where you work. So enough of all this brouhaha. If you need to say something, you can go to the media houses, CNN, MSNBC, the rest of Fox News, better still, because that is the one that fits you people's narrative. Don't come with all this to my people. They will whoop your butts. Ask, you should really know who the people are. Like people who would whoop your butts. Better stay back in your house. You are talking about Epstein file. Why are we so much concerned about why people will not be also concerned about that? So all of a sudden it's no longer vital. Both are vital. I will draw my curtain here. Bye for now.